Thank you for joining me today on Good News with Twanda Black, where we're discovering some of the most inspiring trials to triumph stories and empowerment moments. Call up a friend and let them know it's time for some good news. Hello and welcome to Good News with Twanda Black. I am your host. I interview folks from all around the world. They're telling the good news about their lives and about what's happening. So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy my next guest. I want to welcome to our audience, Keith Wonderboy Johnson, one of my favorite guys out there in the Quartet world. How are you?
I am great. How are you today, Miss Black?
I'm good. You're in Louisiana right now from a Juneteenth celebration, right?
Yes. I've been here. I was in Boston, Louisiana. That was in Shreveport, Monroe, and the other part I ain't never been there before. I can't say that. I was messing it up. I was getting confused with Japan. I said Nagasaki.
Whoa.
But it's Nancha, something like that.
Okay. So I love what you told me before we came on, that there were really older citizens there. And what were they saying to you, the importance of where you were performing?
Yeah, it was in Boston, Louisiana. And it was so important. It got real emotional and touching, and it just happens to be a song of high praise where we're talking about we need to send a revival, which means go back, make some things from the old now, and make it good. And they got to praising God and giving God a dance because we were downtown. They have a new amphitheater, and the elderly ladies was telling me, Seasoned Saints was saying, young man, when I was in my 20s, they couldn't even come downtown, period. So now here it is, they downtown having church and get to dance, and they were dancing.
That's an awesome thing. Let's talk about, where you came from, your history a little bit. And I also want to know where the Wonderboy came from.
Okay. My history, I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people get confused because I have so many Southern ways.
Yes.
So I was born in Brooklyn, New York, and raised in Brooklyn, New York. But my parents, both parents, is from a little city in South Carolina called Summerton, South Carolina. And the ritual was my whole family would migrate from South Carolina to New York for that generation. Mm-hmm. And then what they would do in the summertime, they would send all the kids back to South Carolina, and we would spend times with our grandparents. So that's how I picked up so many Southern things. So my dad is the one who started me to singing, and we had a family group with my dad and my uncles, and it was real popular for a little kid to start singing with the group. So I started singing with the group when I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And then I had an opportunity and was blessed to open up for the Mighty Clouds of Joy. And then Joe Lagon and Johnny Martin, who was the manager of the group, took me under their wing and adopted me as their godson. But they said they wanted me to be different because at that time, all the little boys would be known as Little and whatever their first name was. Uh-huh. So they was like, they don't want me to be like everybody else. So they gave me the nickname Little Wonderboy.
Wow.
So that as I got older and I took over the reign of, the leader of the group, my dad passed the baton to me. The first picture I took, I just put Keith Johnson, and my dad had a fit. He said, "Oh no, I put too much blood, sweat, and tears and effort promoting the Wonderboy. You got to find a way to let the people know that that's you." So I said, "Okay, what we'll do, we'll temporarily call him Keith Wonderboy Johnson," thinking that they'll, get to know my name, and they'll drop the Wonderboy. I was like, it ain't worked too good so far. Then I started thinking, I said, well, God bless his heart, bless his soul. If Little Richard can be in his 80s and still Little Richard, I could be Keith Wonderboy Johnson.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's an amazing story. Mm-hmm. And so that means you got to travel with these guys at a young age. What was it like being in the entertainment industry at such a young age?
Well, it was mind blowing to me because I got into it so early. So they were my heroes. So that's why I said I wouldn't trade my life for anything. Because at that age, I was Muhammad Ali, Reggie Jackson, and Andre the Giant.
The wrestlers.
I was into wrestling real bad. So Andre the Giant, and I know I'm telling my age, but it was a man, Bobo Brazil, and the Junkyard Dog.
Oh, I remember those guys vaguely. Yeah.
So that they were, but they were black wrestlers who I really was into. So those were my only heroes. Besides that, it was the Quartet singers. But I didn't get to see I only saw Muhammad Ali, Reggie Jackson, and the wrestlers on TV.
Right.
But here it is. I would get to see the Quartet legends, and then my dad had a barbershop in New York. So all the singers would come to my dad's barbershop, get trimmed up before the concert. And my dad had a bit also was in the clothing business. So he supplied the groups with uniforms and different things. So I literally, as a little boy, got to meet some of the greats: Monte Clouds of Joy, Willie Neal Johnson, the William Brothers, Shirley Caesar.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to meet all of them as a little boy.
So that is wonderful. But what was it like to be a kid on the road? Or did you get to go on the road as a kid? I'm almost sure you did.
Yeah, we traveled, from time to time. We were still considered a local group, but we would go to South Carolina, we would ride. So that was always, I was always in my own world. So when we would go to South Carolina, places like, were big, then south of the border, and they would have to stop. They know they had to give me 10 minutes or something. They would have to stop. So I had my little things, and for the majority, my dad, he treated me as a kid. He let me be a kid for them, and then it was exciting to me.
So, do you have siblings?
I do.
Did they sing with you guys, or no? Was it just you?
One of them. No, well, my sister, she sang. The oldest is a sister. I got two brothers. My dad took them in as a very young age. My older brother, he sung with us for a little while, and then he went to after high school. He went into the army. So then he stopped singing, and then my little brother, he travels with us, and he was just like the technician, the manager, and he made sure everything was set up, and basically he had my back the whole time.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. So when it was your time to take the reins, so to speak, how much from the old crew did you take, and how much from what was actually happening in reality, especially with quartets, because quartets were huge back in the day, and then they kind of fell off, a little bit. I think they're coming back now, but let's just talk about that. How did you mix the old and the new at that time?
Yeah, well, my story is kind of real interesting, because at the age of right after high school, I actually went to college. So I stopped singing at all. And during my college years, my dad adopted my god brother, Spanky Williams. And in the midst of started singing with my dad, then he became the lead singer of an R&B group, Men of Vision, and they were signed to Michael Jackson's label at Sony.
Oh wow!
Then he started touring as an R&B. So then when I get off from college, I would go tour with him. I was like the not even how we call it, the roadie. I'm the one that I had to go and get the sandwiches and and all like that. But it was teaching.
Yeah,
it was teaching. So then during that time, they had some members change, and the manager knew I could sing. This was after I graduated college, and then this is when that happened. So the manager was trying to make moves right quick. So he said, the lead singer got a brother that could sing. But I knew what was in my heart. From the day one, I wanted to be a young group, professional, but Quartet.
Yeah.
I wanted to represent. I wanted to be the new wave, new era of the Mighty Clouds of Joy.
Mm.
It was three groups I specifically at the time mimicked. That were my mentors, my role models: the Mighty Clouds of Joy, the Canton Spirituals, and the Williams Brothers.
Oh my gosh, all three of them powerhouses.
Right. So
Yeah.
so then I came to my dad. I said, we gotta sit down and talk. I said, right now we're known as a local group, which is no problem for you, but that's not my dream. I said, I want to go. I said, I got an offer to go sing with this R&B group, but that's not what I really want to do. I want to sing gospel, but on that level, on a professional level. So my dad was the type. He said, well, what we gonna do? You take over the group. And he said, I'll just oversee. And from then, I started doing different things there. I was like, I went to Harvey Watkins Jr. I knew him personally. I was like, I was the type, I wasn't scared to ask questions. Like, can I see it? I want to know what a contract looked like.
Okay.
Can I see your contract? And he gave me his contract. So all I did was, change where his name was at and put my name. And I started from there, which was a humbling beginning. The same people that used to, the friends or promoters, whatever, in the local area, that used to, pay us $300 and 3 chicken sandwiches. I started putting it on paper. I started practicing. So I said, because I said, the Lord, I said, I'm praying to the Lord for this, and he showed me he gonna make my dream come true. I just gotta be ready. Right. So I started practicing and then I said, that way it'll be normal practice. By the time I get there, it'll be a ritual. So and that's how he blessed me. All I did was start changing the zero.
Amen. Amen. Okay. Yeah. So as you grew in your career, and I've seen you perform so many times. I love your stage presence. How did you develop? You're funny, you're lively, you're having fun, but you're also ministering. So how did you develop your stage presence?
Well, I always say, I basically took it from watching my mentors, and then I added my own personality to it. I'm not ashamed. I'll tell any young person, in whatever you do, not just singing or whatever you do, you definitely should have a mentor.
Yeah.
Now, be careful of the mentor you pick.
True.
But you should definitely. And I'll be honest with you. I told you, the main two that I looked at was Joe Ligon and Harvey Watkins Jr.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And so, we got to see Joe quite a bit before his passing. And that group was phenomenal on stage.
And he actually endorsed my first national CD when it came out. Joe Ligon himself, basically endorsed me and put in the credits. Like, now I'm introduced. I've been knowing him since he was a little boy, and now the time is to finally introduce you to Keith Wonderboy Johnson. And that was in the inside of my first CD, and that meant the world to me.
Yeah, he was a great guy. So, I know you love Quartet, and basically you're a Quartet singer, but I noticed on a lot of your projects, and I probably have most of them, that you kind of don't do necessarily Quartet, especially when you're doing solo stuff. It's not necessarily Quartet.
Right. Well, I'll be on that part. I get from, again, those main three. That's who I was watching. So I would watch how Joe Ligon, Harvey Watkins Jr., Williams Brothers, Melvin Williams, the Williams Brothers, they would stay Quartet.
Yeah.
But they were never scared to experience with other sounds. And then with myself, I went to my junior high school. I went to Mark Twain, which is school for the gifted and talented in New York. So I was in the chorus. So we were singing opera, Beethoven. We were saying, I got exposed to all type of music. So I love all type of music. So I started saying, this would be you know, nice, put it in our way. And then my other one was my sister,
Mm-hmm.
because we used to have to. I'm dating myself. We used to have to split the record player, right? And because we had to share the record player in the living room, and they would give us time slots. And because my dad, myself, everybody else she was around was all Quartet. My
Mm-hmm.
sister did not want to hear Quartet. And then so she started teaching me to, embrace and enjoy the Winans,
Mm-hmm.
Commission, the
Mm-hmm.
Hawkins family, the Clark sisters. So that's when I got a love for everything. Then I just started, mixing them all. Then I noticed how when all the gospel greats get together, Joe Lagon would be in that mix,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and he knew how to present it that everybody would still appreciate it. You can
Mm-hmm.
you can appreciate the roots of Quartet, but he was still, ministering and bringing in other music. Because I was even around. My dad and my mother started letting me go around with him as a little boy. So I
Mm-hmm.
was actually going around when they were being a gospel. They was being a gospel, and well, we call it R&B, but they had a disco hit at that time. So,
We do.
so then I was like, Mighty High, it's gospel, but it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a good song. It was a good
Yeah.
song.
So when
Still
I
a good
started,
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when I started, I started bringing it then. So when I came to myself, it was a young man I went to school with, and he was heavy into a heavy metal,
Mm-hmm.
grunge, which was the thing at the time.
Oh
So
wow.
I started telling my guitar player, I asked him, how you get your guitar to sound like that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we started getting the tools to make it. So we was basically like one of the first people at that time, because there was no young people in Quartet. So we started bringing a whole new sound.
Yeah.
And then we started seeing them come. And then if I could get $1 for every person that came to me and said, I don't like Quartet, but the way you present it, I could get with it. I could buy some nice things. If I
Yeah.
could just get $1 for every person that told me that.
And we kind of call it's like old country and new country. We call it old quartet and new quartet. I
Hmm.
love new quartet right now. They are killing the game.
Hmm.
They come in like game busters. They're dancing. They suit it down or whatever they want to wear, because all of them don't wear suits. And then they can hit a ballad or hit or just a contemporary song that's not necessarily quartet. So they're meeting the needs of an entire audience at that time. So I'm loving new quartet.
Yes, I just tried to be someone to connect, both worlds, and be an example and be
Mm-hmm.
like that bridge. And but some of these new artists, man, they aliens, you know.
You call them aliens.
Yeah, like I give him corners. I actually introduced him. I was in Texas doing a show with Kurt Franklin and God's
Mm-hmm.
Property,
Mm-hmm.
and a young lady walked up to me that she was part of God's Property, and she was like, "Keep on boy, I know you. I love your music." She was like, "You need to hear my little brother," and I was like, "Okay." What? So, coming a little while later, I was in Blytheville, Arkansas, at the theater, and I was in the dressing room, and I was like, "Who is that?" I heard the sounds coming from the walls.
Mm.
Then somebody brung me a phone, and the young lady was on the phone like, "This is Barbara Mitchell. Remember me when we was in Texas?" She said, "You in Blytheville tonight?" I said, "Yes." She said, "My brother is there, who I was talking about." And she was like, "Well, okay, let me go out and see who this is." And it was Tim Rogers.
Oh yes,
And
yes.
so as soon as I saw, I said, the world need to hear him. So the
Mm-hmm.
Lord blessed me with one of my childhood friend, D.A. Johnson. He was the VP at Malaco Records, and he's a Quartet baby too. So the Lord blessed me to do a CD with injunction with Malaco Records, and we called it Keith Wonderboy Johnson presents the Rising Stars
Yeah,
of Quartet.
I got that one.
And I called. I said, hey, I got something for you to be on. The world needs to, need to hear you.
Yeah, nah, that's a bad boy right there.
And he sings anything.
Oh my God, yes he does. Yeah, I heard him at a Hawks game after here at Atlanta Hawks, and they had some kind of program after the game, and he was the featured artist. I was just like, oh my God, people have no idea what they're about to hear. He is phenomenal.
And then actually then that's why the next generation, I was really in my heart to teach the ones that listen, that we got to learn the business. We got to learn the business. So what happened on that same CD, I was going to introduce another one that she's an alien too, and Lisa knows.
Oh yes.
But she didn't have, they didn't own their music. So unfortunately, that's record labels do what they got to do.
Oh yeah.
So unfortunately she wasn't there, but she still got to the platform because during that time I met her too, and I was like, and they right there riding distance from each other. Yeah. Like I used to always, I really didn't like going to Memphis because I thought New York was a talented pot. Down there in Memphis, it's like the birds and the roaches and the rats.
Can say, right?
I was like, so right there, like around the same time, I met both of them, and I was like, they could sing anything they want to sing.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I seen them go from, I seen Lisa stand there and go from, singing with the likes of Kim Burrell, and she can do every run in the book.
That's
and
right.
And then I see her hold her ear and start ministering and going like she surely sees it.
That's
like,
right.
So this thing is, the new generation is
it's on and popping. It is on and popping. Talk about, you've got a new project. Well, talk about the last project, but you've got a new project that's coming out as well.
Well, my last project was called an inspirational project. It was a little something. I like doing something different. So what I
liked it. Yeah.
I did 2 with like 10 to 12 minutes medleys. I honored the Williams brothers. So I did a medley of all their favorite songs. And then I did a medley to Lee Williams because he had just retired back then. And what was crazy, I was we did it in the studio. Them people wanted me to sing it live. I'm like, I can't sing Lee Williams.
Do that. Right.
I can do it in the studio.
Can't do that.
Then the Lord blessed me in the same town where Lee Williams from to meet another alien. His name was Josh Miles.
Oh yes.
He was a writer, producer, singer, and when we met, I said the world needs to really hear your talents. So he let me start hearing the song, and then I heard the song "Believe in Yourself."
Yeah. And
it just touched my heart.
Beautiful.
And it was full, and I just saw. I said the world needs to hear this song. The youth need to hear this song. The older ones that's trying to reinvent themselves in life, they need to hear this song. You got to believe in God, but most important, you got to look in that mirror and believe in yourself. And the Lord, that was the CD He blessed us, and we was able to win 2 Stellars off of that one. And the Lord is. But then you had some people, they was like, okay, because it's not. They were like, it's not necessarily Quartet.
Yeah, but it's like, no, it is not. But you're more than that,
Yeah, I try to mix it up a little bit, and so that was project. Now this project I got coming out, we calling it collaboration project, because I'm the Lord bless me. I'm a businessman. I get that from my daddy. I started my own 5 years ago. I started my own record label. So my last 3 projects been on my record label. So now this one, I'm collaborating with the man that gave me my start, Mr. Kerry Douglas. So my first album was all unpromoted and everything by Kerry Douglas. So you got we collaborating together. So it's gonna be a joint function. We're between me, myself, and Black Smoke, which is Kerry Douglas.
Yeah.
Then musically, I'm singing a few songs. I'm introducing a few people that, in my eyes, was what we how we nicknamed. Just been calling them aliens. They just the talent is out of here. So the world and the industry, they might not have heard of them, but they'll hear them after this because they all talent is out of this roof, and it's me keeping my word and my promise to the Lord. Because I don't know if you'll be honest. Have you ever went to the Lord and prayed and you praying to the Lord, but you was mad? I'll be honest, I was frustrated because I knew what was in my heart and I wanted to do. And at that time, it just seems like things was not working. Mm-hmm. And then, I would go to, I started as a little boy and I felt I had friends in the industry. My dad knew a lot of people. And I just felt like at that time, nobody would help me. And believe it or not, I went, because, we had a lot of it then. I went to every major label, and every major label rejected me. And Lord bless the years later, I got a chance to work with every label that rejected me.
Yeah.
So I remember at that time praying to the Lord. And I just said, I made him a promise. I said, if you would make this come true for me, I would be one of those type of artists and be a person to be a connector. Yeah. And I would give, I would give the other person a chance.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things I've done behind the scenes, and from singers, musicians, producers, them all. I always remember my promise. Because the Lord has blessed me through, you have relationships. Relationships are key.
That's everything.
They will always, say, hey man, let's work together. And I was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. We work together. So then, but I will always remember that if the Lord showed me bump into somebody who's qualified that never got the opportunity.
Right.
Right. So, and they like, for one of my prime examples, my collaboration project. That's what I'm doing. From producers, musicians, the qualified singers that just never got an opportunity. Like one of my main one is my little, I call him my little brother, a young man named Tyrone Jackson. And he started with me in 2002. At that time, he was from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Extraordinary guitar player. Just never got a chance. He never had the opportunity. He had no one on his resume. So I gave him a chance. So he started touring with me instantly. After one year of hearing him, I said, okay, I know my purpose. I said, I'm gonna take you around the world so people can hear you. You're gonna remain my little brother, but you're gonna go on past me.
Right.
So it started, we were at that time blessed to be in Memphis, Tennessee, singing for the great late G.E. Patterson. And we were opening up for Pastor Donnie McClurkin. And we were having, lunch before the service. And I saw him in the corner, almost so quiet, he almost shaking. So I was like, what's wrong? And he was like, across over at that table, that's Joey Wolfhard. At that time, I had no clue who Joey Wolfhard was. But then he finished this. He said, that is my guitar mentor.
Wow.
So now, me being me, I just walked over to the table. Hey, man, how you doing? I said, my name is Keith. And he was talking. Yeah, man, I know you, Keith Wonderboy, which I didn't know. He's a world extraordinary guitar player.
Yes, he is.
But his roots was Quartet. He's from Chicago. So he said, I'm definitely knowing who you are. I said, well, I appreciate what you're doing. I said, man, thank you. I take it as an honor. But I said, man, my guitar player over there, he said, you his mentor. He said, but he kind of scared. Come on. I said, I'm not. Can you come over here and meet my guitar player? And they connected. And from then they became brothers.
Mm.
And that led to other things. And he started calling him, I can't do this for me. But and now my guitar player, this is how he take care of his family and everything. So just to tell young people, you can do, your dreams can become a reality.
That's
and
right.
he goes on now, he works with CC Winans, After Seven, Freddie Jackson, even the new people, Anthony Brown, Jonathan Nelson, some of everybody. But he started with me getting that opportunity. And, I have a few things, but I really appreciate things. That's what I just love to do.
As it should be. We have to reach back and help, our younger people to achieve their dreams. Because like you said, some of them will never get the opportunity. They will kind of stay where they are for a long time unless they get that little push that they need. Now, I want you to tell everybody where they can meet you, where they can see you, get more information, where they can get your music.
Okay, if you just meet me on Instagram is at Keith Wonderboy Johnson. Facebook is at Keith Wonderboy Johnson or at Keith Wonderboy Johnson Roman numeral 2. Twitter is at Keith Wonderboy J. And then I'm even into the old fashioned folks, those that's struggling a little bit. You at least know how to email. You can either email me at KeithWonderboyJohnson@gmail.com.
All right. And of course, the website is KeithWonderboyJohnson.com.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for just sharing your life with us. You are just so delightful. And I can't wait to see you out the way we used to see each other. It's always a blessing. Thank you so much.
Well, 9 times out of 10, I'll be there because I know you were shocked last time you saw me because I was singing with Cats. I sung with by myself and then I sung with
Right.
Spirituals. Well, because guess what? I tell people there would not be a Keith Wonderboy Johnson without Harvey Watkins Jr.
Yes.
He's the one, I stopped singing. He's the one that inspired me to come back singing.
Mm-hmm.
So now our relationship is just like, I use that example like the NBA, how a lot of superstars, they had Michael Jordan poster on their wall. But how many of them can say they really got to know Michael Jordan? That he's like family. I go to the Watkins family reunion, whatever I got to do. And so now the Lord showed me that's how we have to be each other's keeper.
That's
and
right.
he was having some difficulties with his, his voice. He had an accident, and he was, we were doing a lot together before.
I remember.
That.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, sometimes people really think that we superheroes, which we're not.
For sure.
And I've heard some of the mean things. So I just say, well, Lord, whatever talents you bless me with, I definitely wouldn't be ashamed to help the person who I know who's helped me. Yeah. He's helped me on stage, but most important, off stage. He's helped me develop into he teaches things about being a man. Mm-hmm. And I love him daily. So that's why, I'll probably, and I know they got in your area, he has a big concert coming up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be there.
You're going to be there? All right. Well, I'll make sure I see you. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you again for so much for just joining us and sharing again. And we look forward to seeing you out in public, out there on the stage where you love it.
I got my shots. So
I got my shots too.
I'm coming out now. So, but anybody that you want my music, you can go to any digital outlet and put in Keith Wonderboy Johnson. And right now, I'm promoting my pandemic suggestion. You done tried the rest.
That's right.
You done put your business all on social media. Now, try the best.
Try Jesus. That's right. That's right.
So I look forward. You can go and look it up on any digital outlet. Just put in Keith Wonderboy Johnson, Try Jesus. And the new project, the collection project, the collaboration project will come out this year Probably about
September.
September,
October.
October. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I
Bye.
appreciate you for
I
this
appreciate you.
opportunity. Thank you, Miss Black.
Woo! Thank you so much for joining us, Keith Wonderboy Johnson. I love that guy. To be a guest on the show, you can email me at twandablack@thepgnetwork.org or goodnews@thepgnetwork.org. We'll see you next time. God bless you. And you know what? Keep that good news coming, okay?